Physical media. Are you starting to realize how much I enjoy talking about this topic? Physical media, especially DVDs, game discs, and CDs, are something that has just entered the very DNA of the last few generations. If you grew up in the 2000s, you definitely remember the golden age of physical media. And sounds like this will probably cause memories to come flooding back. Yes, I definitely didn't spend 2.5 hours looking for that just to film a 15-second segment. It's easy to forget just how good having a DVD was. Think about the process of watching anything now. You either pay an insane amount of money for a ticket and a small bucket of stale popcorn to go and see something, and have to listen to people not shutting up the whole time, or spend an hour searching the internet to find out what streaming service you've never heard of it's available on, or just pirate it and receive quite literally every virus ever. Or you could break out your old USB disk drive or Xbox 360 and watch it with something called a DVD. If you own any discs, chances are they're at least 10 years old, like a well worn copy of your favourite childhood film or game, or some album that you've listened to so many times that you know all the songs off by heart. This is because DVD and CD sales peaked in 2005 and began to decline in the following years. Most would attribute this to the rise of subscription based streaming services like Netflix in the early 2010s, but if you look at a graph, you realize that sales started to decline well before the advent of streaming, so something else must have caused physical media to fall off. This was probably the massive 2008 recession, where people had less disposable income to spend on entertainment products, and as the recession ended, streaming services were already on the rise, so physical media never really bounced back. One of the most special things about physical media is the tangibility. Unlike Netflix, the content won't get rotated for something new. You own it, and unless you lose it or break it or scratch it, nothing can take it away from you. Also, if you have the original copies of certain DVDs or cassettes, you can see things like Star Wars as they were at release, without all the weird changes that keep getting made to the original trilogy. And something that just doesn't carry over into streaming are all the little secrets that could be kept in these releases, like on Nirvana's breakout masterpiece Nevermind. Also, one of my favorite albums ever, there's a hidden track that closes the album. It's not included in the track listing and plays about 10 minutes after the listed closing track. So if you happen to leave the CD playing for whatever reason, after a few minutes, this really unsettling song would start playing. And it gave the album that's already filled with haunting, deeply uneasy songs a real sense of mystery. Or in DVDs, there are always extras like interviews with the cast and crew or behind the scenes on the CGI and practical effects. You'll have to take my word for this because I can't find my copy, but the old DVD of Wally used to have a game like Space Invaders where you played as Wally moving around in space with his fire extinguisher that I spent longer at playing than anyone probably should have. These are just a few examples of the experiences that you can create with physical media, but then if you get the album on Spotify, just scroll to the bottom and there's the secret track. It removes any kind of air of mystery that the album used to have. Or with Wally, if you watch it on Disney Plus, all you get is the plain old, perfect, amazing film, and none of the fun extras. And don't get me wrong, the fact that anything is available online now and music is basically a free commodity is genuinely incredible and something we could have only dreamed of a few decades ago. It's genuinely hard to believe that not that long ago, the only way to listen to music was either with a big, bulky record or cassette tape. Another aspect of the nostalgia surrounding physical media is that it can be easily shared. You can just give your friend an album or DVD that you think they'd like, and those are some of my best memories of owning things physically. Sharing things at school, trading someone an old album. Really, the main thing that's changed in the last decade isn't the availability or the price of media. If anything, entertainment has only gotten more expensive with the subscription model. It's just that people don't own things anymore. Like if you're paying for Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime Video, Paramount Plus, and more every month. Unless you literally watch things non-stop, you're not getting your money's worth. At this point, the average DVD or cinema ticket probably overall costs the same as something you watch on Netflix. It just does away with the high upfront cost in favor of gradually taking money every month. One of the only subscriptions that I have that I think is genuinely worthwhile, by the way, I promise this isn't sponsored, is Tidal. I listen to a lot of music all the time. Even as I record this, I hope you can't hear my music in the background, so I get my money's worth, and it offers higher music quality than Spotify Premium, which is really important for a nerd like me. After everything I've said, it might sound like physical media is dead and never coming back, but we're starting to see a trend where more and more people are returning to DVDs. And it's not just your grandma who hasn't heard of streaming yet, it's actually people aged 25 to 39 on average, or the generation that grew up in the 2000s. These are the people who are most likely to buy and watch DVDs. So we might see a similar thing happening with DVDs or cassettes as records, where they gradually become cool and relevant again, and we might even be seeing the start of that now. If you couldn't tell, I had a lot of fun making this video. Anyway, thanks for watching, and please do consider subscribing because it does wonders for the algorithm. Other than that, I will see you all in the next one.